Welcome back to another episode of the British Accent Podcast. I'm Nick Williams.
And I'm Emily Carter. Good to have you here with us today. Whether you're on your way to work, making a cup of tea, or just having a quiet moment, we're glad you're tuning in.
Today we're talking about something subtle, but incredibly impactful: how social media is quietly changing the way we see ourselves.
It's not always obvious, is it? You open your phone just to check in, see what people are up to, and before you know it, your mind has started comparing, measuring, adjusting how you feel about yourself.
Exactly. You start off watching videos or looking at photos, and it feels harmless. But slowly, something shifts. You find yourself thinking your life isn't exciting enough, your face isn't symmetrical enough, your achievements aren't impressive enough.
It happens without us realizing. People post filtered moments, holidays, fancy dinners, gym progress, stylish outfits. You rarely see the stress, the self-doubt, the normal, boring parts of life. So the version of reality we absorb is incomplete.
And it starts to affect your self-image. You begin to think what you see on your feed is the standard, and anything less means you're falling short. Even if, deep down, you know most of it is curated.
Let's talk about that curation for a second. It's not just about other people, it's what we start doing ourselves. You post a photo, and suddenly you're watching for likes, checking if people commented, wondering if it was good enough to share.
Before long, your posts stop reflecting who you are. They start reflecting what you think will perform well. And you slowly edit yourself to match an image that isn't necessarily true to you.
That's the quiet change. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's in the little decisions, choosing what to post, what to hide, what to delete. It's shaping your identity based on feedback from a screen.
And even when you're not posting, you're absorbing. If you see enough gym selfies, you start thinking you should be in perfect shape all the time. If everyone's announcing promotions or exciting projects, you wonder if you're behind.
It resets your expectations. What used to be amazing now feels average. What used to be content now feels lacking. Your ordinary moments start to feel invisible next to everyone else's highlights.
The danger is, you begin measuring your worth by things that are designed to be manipulated. Filters, editing, lighting, angles, none of it's real, but your brain doesn't always know the difference.
And there's this shift in where we place our value. It goes from inner worth to outer validation. Instead of asking, "How do I feel about myself?" we start asking, "Did enough people like this?"
It builds a loop of dependency. You want to be seen, but only in the right way. And the more you chase that approval, the more your sense of identity becomes fragile.
What's interesting is how normal it all feels. It's part of our routine: scroll, post, check, repeat. But over time, it changes how we think, what we expect, how we see ourselves in the mirror.
And a lot of it comes from algorithms. You think you're choosing what to see, but actually, you're being fed what will keep you engaged. Often, that's content that triggers self-comparison or low-key dissatisfaction.
It's a clever system. If you feel not quite good enough, you're more likely to buy something, click something, keep scrolling. Insecurity has become a business model.
But the responsibility isn't only on the platforms. It's also about how we interact with them. We can choose to follow people who bring us clarity, not pressure. Who inspire instead of intimidate.
We can also step back and ask ourselves, would I still do this if no one saw it? Would I still take this photo, write this thought, go to this place, wear this outfit, if there were no audience?
It's a good test of authenticity. If your answer is yes, then it means you're doing it for the right reasons. Not for applause, but for connection, joy, growth.
And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is log off for a bit. Let your mind reset. Go outside, be present, have a real conversation. Remember what life feels like without the need to document it.
Because the moments that matter most often happen off camera. No filter, no caption, no hashtag, just you being you, in your own time, in your own way.
The more we reconnect with that, the stronger our identity becomes. Not the version crafted for others, but the one that exists even in silence.
And that's something worth protecting.
You know, one thing I've noticed is how social media slowly affects what we believe is possible for us. Like, if you see someone your age running a company, traveling non-stop, and somehow staying fit, part of you starts thinking, am I doing enough?
Yeah, like your own progress feels less valuable just because someone else seems 5 steps ahead. But you've got no idea what their life looks like when the camera's not rolling. Maybe they are struggling in ways they don't share. Or maybe their priorities just aren't the same as yours.
Exactly. And timelines are personal. Just because someone hits a milestone at 25, doesn't mean you're late if you reach it at 35, or never. But social media compresses everything. It makes it feel like we're all supposed to be achieving the same things at the same speed.
It turns life into a scoreboard. You see numbers everywhere, followers, likes, views, comments, and without realizing it, you start treating your worth like a number too.
It's strange, isn't it? We used to just live. Now we live and monitor how it looks to others. You can be doing something you enjoy, but part of your brain is already thinking, should I post this? Or how does this look from the outside?
That mental split takes you out of the moment. You're not fully present. You're performing a little, even if it's just for your own followers. And it chips away at your ability to just be.
And when everyone's performing, you can feel pressure to keep up. Even if you're tired. Even if you're not in the mood. You feel like you have to show you're doing something impressive, or at least that you're doing something.
The irony is that most people feel the same. They are all posting their wins, even if they are struggling behind the scenes. It creates a loop where everyone's trying to match an illusion created by everyone else.
Sometimes I wonder how different our self-image would be if we didn't have this constant window into everyone else's lives. Would we feel more content? Would we be more focused on our own goals instead of constantly adjusting them to match what we see?
Probably. We'd judge ourselves by our own standards. By how we feel, not how we appear. And we might notice the small wins more, the kind that don't get likes, but make life meaningful.
Like finishing a book. Helping a friend through something difficult. Cooking something from scratch. Even just resting properly for once. These things don't always make it onto the feed, but they're real progress.
And they build a kind of quiet confidence. Not loud, not flashy, but steady. You stop needing to prove anything because you know who you are, and that doesn't shift depending on what's trending.
That's such an important point, knowing who you are outside the platform. When the phone's off. When no one's reacting. That's the version of yourself you want to build a relationship with.
And the truth is, the more time you spend cultivating that version, the real you, the less power social media has over your self-esteem. It becomes a tool again, not a mirror.
And when you do choose to share something, it comes from a different place. Not from pressure, but from purpose. Not to impress, but to connect.
I think that's what we're all really looking for. Not attention, but connection. Not perfection, but authenticity.
And the more we remind ourselves of that, the more grounded we stay. We can still enjoy social media, still laugh at the memes, still share what matters, but without letting it decide who we are.
It starts with small decisions. Who you follow. What you engage with. How often you scroll. And whether you pause long enough to ask yourself, is this shaping me in a way I'm happy with?
And if it's not, you can always reset. Step back. Reevaluate. Reconnect with the parts of yourself that existed before the likes and filters and curated grids.
Those parts are still there. They haven't gone anywhere. They are just waiting for your attention again.
Something else I've been thinking about lately is how social media's changed the way we talk to ourselves. You know, our inner voice. It's not just comparison with others anymore, it's also how we criticize ourselves based on what we see.
Absolutely. Like, you scroll past a perfectly styled morning routine, and suddenly your own morning feels chaotic. And even though no one said anything to you directly, your inner voice goes, you should be more like that.
And it's constant. You compare your body to someone's gym update, your career to someone's big news, your house to someone's aesthetic flat renovation. It's not just envy, it turns into self-judgment.
And the worst part is, you might not even notice it's happening. You just start feeling a bit off. A bit behind. Like you're quietly failing at things no one's even told you to do.
It sneaks in. And the more it builds, the more your self-worth starts to depend on being seen as enough. As attractive enough, smart enough, successful enough. But that standard keeps shifting. It's like chasing smoke.
There's also this strange pressure to be aesthetic. Like, it's not enough to enjoy your day, you've got to capture it in the right light, with the right filter, or it doesn't feel worth sharing.
And when you don't share it, it almost feels like it didn't happen. Like your life only counts when it's posted. But some of the best moments aren't photogenic at all. They are messy, spontaneous, private. And they are still valid.
That's something we forget. Real life isn't built for social media. It doesn't come with clean backgrounds and curated music. It's unpredictable, and sometimes really boring, and that's okay.
And the more we try to make it look impressive, the more distance we create between ourselves and reality. You start curating your life for other people's eyes, and slowly lose touch with how it feels to live it.
You start prioritizing what looks good over what feels good. You pick activities based on how they'll come across, not how meaningful they actually are to you.
Exactly. And that's where it gets dangerous. Because if you're always thinking about how your life appears, you're rarely fully in it. You miss the joy, the presence, the peace of just being where you are.
It takes effort to reverse that. To remind yourself that your worth doesn't depend on being seen. You're not here to be watched. You're here to live, and that's enough.
And part of that is giving yourself permission to be ordinary. To have a quiet life. To not always be on. There's power in stepping back from the spotlight, and being fully with yourself, even if no one's clapping.
I think we need more of that mindset. That it's okay to unplug. To go off-grid for a while. You're not disappearing, you're just resting. Recharging. Getting back in touch with what actually matters to you.
And when you return, you come back with a clearer head. A better filter, not the kind that changes your face, but the kind that helps you decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't.
You begin to notice which parts of social media lift you up, and which parts slowly chip away at you. And you start curating that, not your image, but your input.
That's the kind of curation that actually serves you. Following people who speak truth, not just trend. Who show up messy sometimes. Who remind you that being human is allowed.
And maybe you even become one of those people. Someone who posts without performance. Who doesn't pretend to have it all sorted. Who helps others feel a bit less alone in their mess.
Because honesty is healing. And it starts with being honest with yourself first. Am I posting because I want to share, or because I want approval? Am I chasing connection, or applause?
Right, that's probably a good place to wrap things up for today. Honestly, I feel like we could go on for hours with this one.
We really could. It's one of those topics that's so personal, but also universal. We're all navigating it together, even if it feels a bit isolating sometimes.
Yeah, and if you're listening right now thinking, that's exactly how I feel, you're not alone. We've all felt a bit lost in the scroll. What matters is that we keep checking in with ourselves.
Absolutely. Ask yourself what's shaping your view of yourself, and whether it's helping or harming. And remember, your life doesn't need to look perfect to be valuable. You're allowed to grow quietly.
Thanks for spending a bit of time with us today. We hope this chat gave you something to think about, and maybe even permission to log off for a bit.
We'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, take care of your mind, take care of your feed, and more importantly, take care of yourself.
Cheers for listening. Catch you next time.